Good morning, my name is Nasli Martin, and I am a PhD student of the program of the Doctoral School of Animal Science at University of Debrecen, and my supervisor is Dr. Peter Barshoent, and our article is titled Effects of omega-3 rich oil inclusion in Tenebrio molitor for potential aquafeed applications. Fish is the species with the highest feed efficiency, followed by insects. Fish protein is key for the worldwide protein supply. However, fish farming is having economical constraints due to the high cost of fish oil and meal. Different investigations are now focused on the partial replacement of fish oil and fish meal with insect meal. Although mealworms contain about 55% protein, their naturally high omega-3 ratio makes their fat less desirable for aquafeeds. However, mealworms exhibit high nutritional plasticity, meaning their nutrient profile, including omega-3 deposition, can be modified through targeted dietary manipulation, as demonstrated by several authors. Our main aims in our experiment was, the first one was the determination of the growing and proximal composition of Tenebrio molitor, supplemented with walnut or flaxseed oils in a with grounded matrix. The second one was the evaluation of the suitability of Tenebrio molitor to be used as a partial replacement of fish oil in aquafeeds. In our experiment, we had several treatments. As we can see here, we had control without any oil inclusion, and we have three different inclusion levels: 0.5, 1%, and 1.5%, either with flaxseed or walnut. Each of them had triplicates. Each small box measured 0.15 liters. At the beginning of the experiment, all the mealworms were measured. A total of 120 mealworms per treatment were used, and they had an average length of between 1.3 to 1.6 millimeters, and they were 40-day old. The total length of the experiment was 6 weeks. The mealworms were reared inside of a biological chamber that had controlled conditions at 26 degrees, 60% humidity in a 24-hour dark cycle. The main measurements taken were survival rate, weight gain, relative growth rate, protein, fat, fatty acids, ash, fiber, and the data was analyzed using SPSS 22.0, a one-way ANOVA with as a 2-key post-hoc test. Results and discussion. Our survival rate was higher than 95% in all treatments, and it was higher than reported in literature by Onyx et al. 2020, that was between 63 to 78%. As we can see in this figure, the weight in grams was lower in the treatment of flaxseed 1%, and it was higher in the control treatment. But there were no significant differences in the other treatments unless flaxseed 1%. However, when we observe here the relative growth rate in our experiment, we can see that treatment with control without the addition of any oils had the highest growth rate, and the lowest was flaxseed 1.5. But in general, all the treatments that had the inclusion had a lower relative growth rate. Regarding fat and protein content, as we can see here, there were significant differences in the fat storage inside of the worm, which increased with the inclusion of oils. The lowest fat percentage was found in the control treatment, and the highest was in flaxseed 1.5%. Regarding the protein, there were no significant differences. Regarding the fatty acid composition, as we can see here in this figure, the saturated fatty acids had significant differences, being the lowest found in the treatment with flaxseed 1.5%. The unsaturated fatty acids did not have significant differences, and here is where we are more interested about, that is the omega-3, omega-6 content, and its influence in the polyunsaturated fatty acids. So if we see them as a global, we can see that the treatments with flaxseed 1.1% and flaxseed 1.5% had the lowest polyunsaturated fatty acids. We are going to explain this in the next slide. And regarding monounsaturated fatty acids, the treatments that had the inclusion increased their levels. Here we can see the omega-6 and omega-3 content. Something really interesting happened here. So regarding the omega-6, the treatments with flaxseed 1% and 1.5% had the lowest omega-6 content. However, if we check the omega-3 content, control had a higher level compared to the other treatments. So that means that the inclusion of oils reduced the absorption of omega-3 inside of the mealworm, and we attribute this mainly because of the peroxidation of the oils, that they can produce cyanogenic compounds. As main conclusion, we have that Tenebrio molitor is a promising alternative source of protein and fat for agricultural diets containing over 75% unsaturated fatty acids. The omega-3 enrichment in mealworms was not achieved, confirming limited incorporation of dietary omega-3 into their fat profile through the supplementation with flaxseed and walnut oils at 0.5%, 1% and 1.5%. Despite no lipid profile improvement, mealworms maintain high growth and survival. Fatty acid incorporation is heavily influenced by feed matrix dynamics, nutrient bioavailability, and competitive absorption between fatty acids. Thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you success in your endeavors.